And hello and welcome everybody. We are back here for tonight's last game here in the round of 8 here for the Oceanic Season 3 Championships qualifiers here for some very delicious League of Legends. My name, of course, is FIGJAM, and I'm joined for one last game here by Papa Smithy. Papa, Game 1 seemed like a storm. Game 2, definitely a nice comeback there from FIGJAM to even it up. What do you think is going to happen in Game 3?
I'm just happy to see FIGJAM back on the game. It was just, the first game was almost a bit distressing given what we'd seen from them before. It seemed like everything just wasn't working. They got it going there today, and now finally for this last game, a really explosive one, and we almost forget just how much of a prize pool is on the line here.
Yeah, I mean, just to remind you guys, of course, there's $40,000 up for grabs at the PAX, at the Oceanic Championships here for Season 3. You're guaranteed at least $5,000 if you come through there. If you place third or fourth, 20 for the winner and 10. Not to mention, of course, that you get a free trip to Gamescom in Germany, English is hard, and get a chance to possibly win one of the wildcard playoff into Worlds. So a lot on the line here, a free trip potentially for the winner, guaranteed $5,000 at least, and of course a trip to PAX as well in Melbourne.
And even just that guaranteed $5,000, even if we're just talking about the lesser rung of anything they can earn, just assuming that, just being able to say that's in the bank, a massive win for these players.
Yeah, absolutely. Bigger than pretty much anything we've ever seen for League of Legends here in Australia, or Oceania, of course. I think we have 4 Australian teams now. 3 Australian teams, already through. I've got to determine one more here. We've got Daizy Parade on the left here as we do get into the draft. And on the right here for the last game here in Game 3, FIGJAM on the right. Daizy Parade took a very convincing, slightly one-sided Game 1 actually to take the first one. And FIGJAM rallied back in form. They kind of reevaluated what was going on and looked really strong there in Game 2. So we thought we were going to have a tight series. We've gone all the way to Game 3 here. Definitely expecting this one to be absolutely awesome.
I guess the interesting thing is we praised Daizy Parade's banning strategy in Game 1 and 2. They went for the same bans. They went for the key champions to FIGJAM's strategy in the previous games. It worked for them in Game 1. It certainly didn't work in Game 2. They've stuck with the same thing a third time in a row.
Yeah, so they're going to go for the same 3 bands. We've got Tristana, Rumble, and Lux, the bands out there over on the Daizy Parade side. We've got Elise, Shen, and Vayne. So I believe the exact same bands they had. I guess Elise is an adaptation. They're not going to give that one over to Daizy Parade, as you guys can now see the champ select on your screen. I think the Vayne band, honestly, a stroke of genius there from FIGJAM, kind of being like, I don't know what else Nepthesis can play, and his Vayne's really scary. Let's not worry about Liquid Cheese anymore. Let's just ban out his Vayne.
And if we look back on the comp from the previous game, if they had had Vayne instead of that Ezreal, it would have had a different tone to it completely, because you would have said huge tanky wall, Vayne just cleaning up with that her hyper carry damage potential in the back of the fight. But they didn't. They had Ezreal. He went the safe blue Ezreal build. He just wasn't able to put out that same damage.
No.
So Vayne seems like a very smart adaptation.
Yeah, absolutely here. And we've got first pick Jarvan, again, clearly something that Robert likes in the jungle. He's going to pick that one up to start things off. Straight to Nasus and Karthus again here. So Trashback going to be back on Karthus. And Blue 90 going to be back on Nasus. I guess when Elise is banned, he kind of goes to Nasus, I guess.
That seems to be the case. And it'll be interesting to see the reaction here, because now they know what the mid champion's going to be. They have a lot of options potentially to come back at it.
And I really like this pick up here. I think Nepthesis needs to go back to a hypercarry. He's got Kog'Maw now, a champion we rarely ever see, who's just so awesome to watch. And of course Nami as well, one of the best late game supports to help him along there as well.
And the instant reaction with the Twitch Jace locks, they've served them well last game. It seems like the question has been answered. If you ban out that Tristana, Blue 90 just defaults to that Twitch.
Yeah, just goes back to Twitch. He played great Twitch in the last 2 games as well, so no surprise to see that there again. Jace again comes through the draft here because they clearly want to ban some other champions out instead, and that is going to go over to FIGJAM one more time. And the question is, we didn't get to see it last game as Swain got through. Are we going to see Swain this time? He's looking at Anivia, but I really want to see this Swain.
I do too, but all the champions he plays actually have pretty favorable matchups against Karthus. Anivia is strong against Karthus, especially with the potential to have that wall, so that in team fights you're able to wall off the Karthus and force a flash just to get into the fight, let alone stick around in it. Swain and Karthus can have a farm fest in mid. He has a lot of options. Anivia's treated him very well. I mean, Anivia was one of the main reasons they could beat Frenetic Array. Stick with the Anivia.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that Anivia is picked here, I mean, Swain would be great, but Swain's a very almost selfish sort of champion. Like, he's really good at 1v1ing, he's got great AoE, but he doesn't have too much control. His never moves a pretty good ability if you can land it, but you're more about doing a lot of damage and sustaining and being a very consistent AP threat. Anivia's got a lot of control, and given the way they're picking here, and I love this last pick Nunu here from Daizy Parade, they kind of need the additional CC that Anivia can provide.
And this is going to be a support Nunu, so it is the Nunu cog of yesteryear. Nunu cog was always that. Actually, wait, no.
No. Oh, I guess Jarvan has to be top lane then.
So top lane Jarvan against the Jace. Now I see. I've put all the pieces together. I mean, Jarvan's always been seen as a good top laner against the Kennen just because you can get in there and do some very strong burst damage. I think the same is pretty much going to apply to Jace.
Yeah, and of course, either of those champions, unless they have their flash, kind of should get out of Cataclysm either, so you can usually catch them there, even though they are quite tricky to pick up normally with their big fast movement speeds.
We've
Jarvan
misspoke twice, Pastry Time.
Oh no, they're doing it again. Intrepid is going to top Nunu. There we go, we figured it out. He did this before, actually, in one of their games, I think on Friday when they played. And it's definitely fits with his kind of style. It's reasonably tanky, it's sustaining. He likes to push with it as well. And in his interview, actually, after that game, he told me nobody can fight Nunu after level 5.
And I think I know where he's coming from. That's a lot of the reason why Nunu saw that kind of rework away from top Nunu, like less sustain on his Q ability. And, more of a jungle rework in terms of his consume, kind of the little buffs he gets with consume. But the fact still remains, Snowball has high base damage, it slows, he has the ability to move faster himself, and consume does still sustain him. So he is a terror to lane against, and Chase is going to find out all about that.
Yeah, one of the nicest things I actually like about this comp is that it actually makes Kog'Maw into an even better carry. Like, one of Kog's biggest issues is mobility. He's got Voidus, which is a pretty good slow, but he's no other real way to actually fight if he gets jumped on. And one of the best ways is to give your carry additional mobility. So they're really banking on Nephthysis's hyper carry ability. He's shown it on Vayne. His Kog'Maw is going to be massive with this Nunu here and the Nami in there as well to protect him.
And much like the first game, they are entering lane with an unfavorable matchup. Kog Nami, it's an interesting matchup. It will not in any way shape up to the pressure that Twitch Thresh can put out there. That is just an amazing potential for kills there. So, I mean, every single death sentence hitting is going to be a massive way from Netthesis and Shazam. So they're going with the unfavorable matchup. Will they try to do the lane swap again? Will they just go for the 2v2? I don't know, but we'll find out very soon.
They've actually told me that they tried 1v2 Nunu in a scrim and they really liked it. So they seem to know to do it. We haven't seen it too much. We haven't seen top Nunu for a while or solo lane Nunu for a while. But it is possible. It's something they're capable of doing. Intrepid, certainly reasonably comfortable in those 1v2 situations, and he has done it on Nunu before. So it is a possibility. It's something I might expect here. I think given the fact that they really want to make sure this Kog'Maw gets farm, I think it probably makes sense. But we'll have to see here. I mean, I like that Shazam has gone to Nami here because Cocane's Nami was very, very strong in the last game. But, I mean, Thresh is so scary, Papa Smithy.
Thresh, that death sentence lives up to its name more often than it doesn't. And Twitch, we saw with the level 1 cheese that, really snowballed the lane last game Pastry Time. You can't really overstate how important that was to set yourself ahead and the enemy behind. That they're willing to try something here. It'll be interesting. Cocaine's Thresh in previous games was very, very impressive. He was really on point with those skill shots. So a lot to think about for the Daizy Parade bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. We're only 20 seconds away now from getting into this game. Just to refresh the comps here, we've got Nunu in the top lane, it looks like, at least being played by their top lane player, Intrepid. We're going to have Kog'Maw here, Nami as well, Nivea and Jarvan there for the Daizy Parade side. And over on the FIGJAM squad, we've got Karthus there on Trashbird again with the teleport, we might add. Nasus in there as well in the jungle for Blue-90, who actually has Flash this time instead of Ghost. That's interesting.
I'm not sure where that adaptation comes
Cataclysm,
from. I guess
maybe?
just to get out of the Cataclysm, which is a bit defensive. Like, Nasus really shouldn't... If he's the person being Cataclysm, he shouldn't really have to worry about that. But I can see where it is. It just opens up more options for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he really needs to get on top of that Kog'Maw as well, he probably needs to Flash with her or something. Like, it's not pretty, but if it gets the job done, then it's better than just being kited forever. And with all the protection they've got for Kog'Maw as well, it could be really difficult for them to pull through and do it.
And it's the battle of the two longest range carries. Kog'Maw with his Biocane Barrage on, Twitch with his Spray and Pray. These guys are going to try and outrange all the threats that are in front of them.
That's true, and it's conditional range as well. It's not like Tristana or Caitlyn who have naturally high range. It's Tristana, of course, when she levels up with that Draw a Bead passive. But you are right, the two highest range ADs in the game are going to be rattling here. I think that's kind of fiddling for both these two teams. They both have good AD carry players that have shown competence on hyper carries. I think the Ezreal, a bit of a misstep there for Nephthys almost. It doesn't seem to suit his style, but two hyper carries here for both teams, and it may just end up being the battle of the hyper carry.
And it's just speculating, but it almost feels like the comp got away from them when it comes to the comp they're putting together for Daizy Parade. All their champions in isolation are strong picks that they played confidently, but the overall result was a team that just had so much potential for no damage, and that unfortunately came to bear.
Yeah, one more time, we do have the heal on Shazam as well, so he's going to be going there for that one. Just, he used it well nicely. He actually almost saved Ezreal in the level 1 by flash healing, and his killer used it well in all the team fights. I saw him multiple times where he actually used it to save somebody or just use it in a spot where it's still relevant, even in more of a late game team fight situation. And of course, that one defensive mastery point that he must have gives a nice bit of chunky health, especially to someone very squishy like Nami.
We're finally loading into game here, Pastry Time. The final qualifier for PAX Australia. We already have 3 teams. Team XL5 Eclipse, Team Immunity, and of course last game we saw Hot Soggy Decimate come through. Will it be FIGJAM or Daizy Parade? We're about to find out.
We are indeed. So if you are just joining us, welcome to the last game of the evening here. It's Game 3 for the Oceanic Season 3 online qualifiers here, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. One more team gets to go to PAX and have their bash at the biggest piece of pie there in that $40,000 prize pool and the international trip, not to mention a trip to PAX Oz as well, which of course you can no longer get tickets for, so that's a pretty sweet prize in there as well. Lots on the line here. Probably the biggest game of these two teams' lives, and it's going to be Daizy Parade on the left here, the blue squad, and of course on the right there, FIGJAM, and looks like both teams really want to get an aggressive early here. 2 very strong invades here at level 1.
And you wouldn't blame them for being passive, would you? Wouldn't blame them for trying to stay safe. There's so much on the line. Take no risks. Nope. Reckless abandon from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think these two teams definitely very even here. This was the closest series we thought in the top 8, and it's definitely proved to here going in 2 reasonably tight games here, and of course going off to Game 3. I mean, looks like they're just going to do warding for the most part, although the blue team looks like they are going to move through a little more here. Daizy Parade want maybe some more here. I mean, they do have Nunu, so they probably want to look for some sort of invade. Maybe, even though it's not in the jungle, they could definitely get something going there. But other than that, they're just going to ward through here. Good check of the brush there by Liquid Cheese on that Anivia, throwing out that Flash Frost. And they're going to camp this brush, I think. Oh, never mind. They're going to go to another brush and camp it, and they're going to go straight on top of a ward. So with the rest of them moving here, this could be bad news here. Cocaine maybe looking for the hook. They could find it as well. And this could be really bad news there. On top of a ward here, Trashbot going to come in. Has to be careful though. Nasus all the way down going towards the red buff, it looks like. I think they're maybe just going to try and distract any sort of invade. 3 members of Daizy Parade are sitting directly on top of a ward in that bush.
And you have to say, it looks like FIGJAM are going to win this level 1 and be able to steal away a buff here just from the fact that the first team to have all their members revealed was Daizy Parade. Red buff still coming out.
Yeah, and there it is. Blue United going to steal this one away. Riolu is going down towards the bottom lane. So predicting the lane swap again here successfully for FIGJAM. Didn't work out the way they wanted it to the last time this happened. Here's Intrepid's actually going to... Oh no, this is very bad. Riolu going to catch him off. He may be forced to flash here. Blue United coming in as well. Level 2 Nasus red buff plus with it already up. He's going to be forced to flash here. Flashes over the wall. And that's some really nice pressure to start things off here for FIGJAM.
I've got to say, FIGJAM are really on point with this. They might want to consider going down to the TAB after the game because their predictions are spot on.
They really are here in Intrepid now. Going to 1v on this Jace. He's probably happy in this matchup as well, of course. He did say when Nunu gets levels, he feels very comfortable, but they really wanted this Cogmore to get some free farm, and he's not going to get any sort of luxury there this time around. He's going to have to play against Twitch and Thresh.
And again, just looking on the basic lane matchup, I worry for Cogmore. Oh, he gets hooked.
Good hook there as well. There's the Venom Cast coming in as well. Shazam actually misses the Aqua Prison, and that's a force flash there from Cogmore. Twitch is all in so good at level 2, and that was a nice hook to set things up in there as well. So have to be careful. Already forcing the flash out. Look at the health of Cogmore. He's got 260 health left now. Sorry, 301 as it ticks back up. My mistake. But so little left there after that quick all in. If that happens one more time, that's probably a dead probably a dead Cogmore.
And that's the advantage of having the Thresh pastry time. Whenever Twitch is gets the auto attack advantage at level 1, you know you're going to feel it.
Yeah, that expunge. I mean, we saw it at level 1 actually in the last game with a little bit of cheese there coming out from FIGJAM. That Twitch did a lot of damage to that expunge. Here, no exception there. And Cogmore really has to stay safe here. And I think maybe, I don't know how comfortable he is here. The good Aqua Prison there from Shazam to prevent extra damage from coming through, but this is a horrible lane so far, and they might even consider going back and maybe trying to find a lane swap here. As Liquid Cheese very low in the mid as well, forced to get a bit of help there as Nasus comes through for the gank.
It looks like Rabub just needs to go top lane instead of picking up this camp right now and just help clear, because you just know the moment they hit turret, they're going to try and pick up a dive here.
Yeah, I mean, Cogmore has 200 health or so left. Not very much at all here. They're still pushing in. They're going to look for the dive. I think, yep, Jarvan's going to rotate up here. So Robub did have the time here. He's going to wait and see what happens. And if they do go for the dive, he'll definitely be in here. And if it works here, a stroke of genius here from Robub. And it's so important that he has this timing down. In fact, they may even want to try and bait this in here. Cocaine, in fact, going to look for the hook, but I think it hit a minion, unfortunately, yeah, right in front of him. And Twitch is going to do some damage to the tower. I mean, Jarvan's got flash. He could look for a flag toss combo. He's got to be careful. He might be able to vector himself over this wall here. There's the slow coming through. It's a good Aqua Prison. Jarvan needs to come in now if he wants to go in. There's the knuckle. He looks for it. He finds Cocaine. Damage coming through, but there's the flash up from Thresh. And there's a hook in there as well. And Bluey 90's up the top as well. The teleport coming through now as well. This could be very bad news. Everybody flashes out of the way. And I think Robub's just going to be able to get out of the way here. The heal popped as well there for Shazam. A wasted teleport, I suppose, as Trashboat comes up from mid. So Nivea's going to be able to pressure in here. But they might even just go and try and 4-man push here. Looks like they're going to actually rotate Trashboat back down to mid. Defend off of Nivea. But here comes the dive again. Bluey 90 wants to go in. Good barrier there from Nev. There's Cocaine in there as well. Blazing back. And there's the first blood for Thresh. But there's the trade kill coming out as well as Jarvan picks it up. And a Cathian surprise going after Blue 90 here. Bluey 90 Oceanic diving in again, gets another kill, but trades his life for it and gives Shazam the double buff. So action aplenty here. 4 kills in 5 minutes, Papa Smithy, and they're all in the top lane.
Despite maybe a touch of over-aggressiveness and the fact that the double buff had gone to Shazam, you still like that trade if you're FIGJAM, just because the only person who lived through it, the person who's been able to push the minions to the enemy turret, is Twitch. So the AD carry came out trumps there.
Yeah, so going to push those minions in, deny some more CS. I mean, Nami will take it where she can. Shazam, going to catapult ahead here in gold a little and some experience. So be interesting to see what Nami goes back and gets now, maybe to try and help this lineup. But it looks like, never mind, they're going to make the swap here. Cogmore's down the bottom. He's going to do double golems. I don't even know if he can do this all that well on his own. He does have 2 Doran's blades, so clearly expecting some damage here from Jace. He's level 3, by the way, to this level 5 Jason. I mean, I think a necessary swap here for Daizy Pro, but they are not happy about this early game.
No, look, they tried to put their poker face on and get an early advantage with a lane swap, but, I mean, FIGJAM have been completely right on top of those.
Yeah, I mean, the only nice little advantage was Liquid Cheese was able to push into the mid. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot of damage to the turret, but would have denied a couple of CS here. It looks like it's 40 to 36 right now, so a slight advantage there, but Trashbird not losing too much, and Karthus is certainly a power farmer. He'll be able to recoup that pretty quickly.
Yeah, these are both champions who, left to their own devices, are just going to power farm, and there's not going to be much map movement from the two, although the teleport is, of course, available on Karthus, as we saw before. But apart from that, it's just going to be about farming neutrals and farming their lane. Yeah,
and here Intrepid with the Ninja Tub, he's probably pretty happy here. Just going to snowball Blue 9-0, eat the creeps where he can. It's 21 to 27 between Jason and Nunu for the record, so Intrepid slightly behind there, but not doing too badly. And I mean, if he can survive this lane here as Nunu, then he's going to be doing pretty well. And already, I think Cogmore can feel a lot of the space there. He can breathe a little more again, as he's got some time to farm here down the bottom lane, though still slightly behind Twitch on CS.
Rebub obviously up top lane here, trying to help as much as possible. In this game, I actually really do like the Ninja Tabby rush from Intrepid, just because, as is always the case with, if you're against any sort of hook champion or playmaking champion like Blitzcrank, for example, if you have that extra move speed early, just makes it easier to dodge the death sentence.
Yeah, it looks like Nasus is going to start this here. They did see him clear out the wall. They already know, but there's the wither coming out. It could be a bait here for Liquid Cheese, but we're going to stun up Nasus there. Going to get him off there. Slows him down as well. In fact, a lot of damage here being dealt by Anivia, but here comes Karthus with the wall of pain. Jarvan coming through as well. The Rebirth is up here, so if Anivia can buy enough time, maybe the team can come through. There's the knock-up. Trapper taking a ton of damage, actually, and there's the Egg-up, but kills him as the Flash Frost comes out, and that's going to be a very cute kill there for Liquid Cheese. And I mean, Nasus, he tried there. He even kind of mind-gamed them a little, kind of leaving, and I think they wanted to bait Anivia in, but really nice response there from Jarvan, knowing that dragon was possible. And Nasus not only used his ultimate to no real game, but that's a 1-for-0 trade there, as Anivia's passive goes down for Karthus.
I feel like that was a bit of a misplay from Nasus. Obviously had a lot of health there. If Karthus could, he was always going to die in that trade, but if he could have died on top of the egg, he would have been able to use his passive to pick up the kill.
Intrepid getting dove here as well. Requiem actually going to come in here. I don't think anybody's low enough. Intrepid pretty low. I guess they were calling there because they're going for the dive, but Cocaine, they got snowballed. Couldn't quite do enough to Nunu, and Thresh actually took a lot of damage here. I think the only saving grace is Rebub does come up towards the top. Means that they actually might be able to survive, might be able to keep this tower alive, but it's pretty low here. Cocaine's going to look for somebody. He's going to find Jarvan here, and Jarvan's going to do what he can to try and clear out these minion waves here. But a nice hook going to come out here. Rebub actually maybe going to take a little too much damage. A great flay in there from Cocaine. The exhaust in there as well, and that's got to be a dead Jarvan here with that expunge.
Yeah, it's just almost a shooting gallery for Cocaine up top. Whichever target he can get, that he knows the Twitch damage to follow up will be incredible.
Yeah, and the problem here is this top tower is now done. I mean, Nunu's going to come in here, try and do what he can. Nasus actually stealing away the blue buff now as well, so very aggressive movement all across the map. Going to donate Karthus a free blue here, possibly give Nasus the second one as well. Going to give his one over as he recalls out. And just all this aggression up top is opening up a nice bit of space. If you've got a nice lead up in top, you definitely want to take over the blue buff if you can. And they're doing a really nice job controlling objectives here. And the bottom tower is not even close to going down here. And Real is able to clear waves pretty quickly here on Jace.
And before the Mura mana was changed to physical and Jace became the terror of 1v1 laning, he was still using that 1v2 situation just because he has fantastic wave clear. That's no changes were made to his wave clear here apart from being able to do it a little bit less often. But in a 1v2 situation, Jace still a very healthy choice.
Yep, and they've navigated that bottom pretty nicely here. Looks like Thresh and Twitch are going to rotate down here as well. So could see another gank even coming out here, and I think they kind of realize what's going on here and back away actually very, very quickly there. Not sure which ward might have spotted them there, but I think just with no vision there, I mean, they've got one pink ward over there at the Dragon currently, which is nice because they're going to be able to get that vision if they do want to go for it here. But this rotation probably means that FIGJAM feel fairly comfortable just going in for this Dragon. They throw the pink ward down as well to deny the vision, and it's kind of make or break here for Daizy Parade. I mean, Oh, good hook there into Shazam as well. He's going to flame back. The box activated in there as well. Shazam actually going to flash Tidal Wave, so nice moves there trying to get out of the way. Eben following a nice Aqua Prison actually keeps him alive. And looks like Anivia had rotated down as well with Jarvan. So Shazam pulls out all the tricks there to keep alive there. But unfortunately, that's probably going to give Daizy Pro this dragon.
Yeah, Jarvan's still in position for a steal. They still have Anivia who can disrupt the team fight very strongly. But, I mean, Nami's in no position to help. So it looks like it's going to be the dragon.
No ultimate left either, going to go for it. Actually picked up there by Cocaine, who comes in. Sorry, picked up by Twitch. There's Liquid T's going to take that ton of damage after the hook. And Anivia no egg this time, likely going to go down. The Expunge is going to get in there. And Trashboat picks up that kill there. Wallopay just missing there onto Cogmore as he runs out of the way. But he does have Flash. He's probably going to be forced to use it here. And there he goes over the top. So Nephthesis forced to run away there. And again, a nice one there. I mean, Jarvan tried to steal it, as you said, Papa, but just some really, really strong presence there. Immediately knowing that Dragon was an objective they could do with that rotation. And I mean, Nunu did a little bit of damage to the top turret. It's, 750 health about now, but still hasn't gone down. And now Rio is back in the top and ready to 1v1 Nunu.
And, the core point of all this map movement that FIGJAM have been able to have, that, Daizy Pro really struggled with, is a product of this weak lane matchup. The fact that Twitch Thresh just has so much more lane presence than Cogmore Nami. They've tried a lot of emergency maneuvers to get Cogmore that farm that he needs to get to that late game point, but wherever he goes has been kind of sussed out and taken advantage of by FIGJAM.
And understandably as well, FIGJAM are just trying to keep this Cogmore down for as long as possible. They know how scary Nephthesis is if he gets farmed on a hyper carry, and they're going to try and prevent that as much as possible. I mean, there's 2 tier 2 turrets to farm at now if you can freeze the waves nicely, but there's still going to be plenty of movement you have to think here from FIGJAM. 2-0 up now in outer turrets, and they're probably going to look to storm mid fairly quickly here as well.
And the patented early Bloodthirster comes out from Blue 9-0 here. 11-minute Bloodthirster. No boots. Doesn't care. He's got a health pot. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Ambush gives him a bit of movement speed as well, I guess. 1 health pot and a 1 Doran's Blade. But, I mean, not too bad here, especially if you're going to be looking to push here as well, which I'm sure they're going to be doing here. I mean, they can group very aggressively here if they want to. I don't think Hogwar's going to want to come up. I mean, he can. And Anivia's wave clear is decent, even though she's kind of underleveled. But, I mean, the double AD between Twitch here with such a quick Bloodthirster and the Jace in there as well probably means they're going to be able to push nicely here. And, I mean, both Nunu and Cogmore are trying to get the farm where they can, but here's a 5-man push coming out now. They really want to try and take these 3 outer turrets.
And one of the big changes in Season 3 is that freezing a lane, barring the slow minion pushes, always seems to be the wrong decision. There's so many AD casters, there's so many double AD comps that if you try and freeze bottom, as Cogmore would have wanted to do, obviously, finally have some of that calm winter's, summer's day farming, he's never going to get that, unfortunately, because then he'll just lose the turret. Cogmore has had to
Shazam put in there as well. The box goes out, the tidal wave is up, but Trashboat picks it up with so much damage there for Karthus. Cooking with a very neat trick there. Gets in, gets out, and then flashes out to the box, and there's just enough damage there for Trashboat to land a couple of layways to pick up that Nami, who is, unfortunately, despite the heal, still very, very squishy on support. So, I mean, Cocaine, he's made plays just diving happily here as Thresh so far. Clearly showing us that he knows the mechanics of this champion, and they're happy to play aggressive here, which is working out nicely, and they're probably not going to be able to get this tower. Again, the wave clear is pretty good. Trapper going to get hooked up again, just going to take a little bit of poke damage, but I mean, slowly but surely they're going to get it done. I mean, Trashboat's going to rotate down. He's got the teleport if he needs to come back in. He'll happily push this wave and try and do damage to the tier 2.
And I guess, this push succeeds when Nivea runs out of mana, but Nivea's still at half mana here. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 waves more for the mana to go down, so I imagine, yep, we're going to see some passive farming from FIGJAM.
And some of them are going to passive farm. Blue 9 is actually a little bit of counter jungle here. He actually walked through a ward, but I think he has to be a little more careful here. And now he realizes, I think, what's going on.
He's had so much success this game. He's stolen a blue buff. He's stolen a red buff. It's one of those games where everything seems to be going right for Nasus, but cannot smite that one away.
Rubub gets that one, thankfully for him. So he's going to collect that one here. But then Twitch is in the top lane now, taking the farm as it pushes in here. Karthus was, of course, down the bottom pushing in. I mean, Cogmore can get CS here as these waves push in, but if they're pushing in all the waves and just pressuring the center of the map, then FIGJAM are setting themselves up either to do a lot of damage to these turrets, get very far ahead in farm because they have to defend with more people than they've got. Here's Cocaine. I think they get caught out. The Golden Aegis comes in as well, but Aqua Prison plus Flash Frost and all the Anivia damage is going to be lights out there for Cocaine. And unfortunately for Thresh, he finally gets himself caught out aggressively warding.
Yeah, it looks like they will be able to claim their own blue buff here, which of course is critical to stop the aggressive pushing we've been seeing.
Nasus does have smite, so they and as you said, they really want to get this blue. So they're going to have to be careful about it. In fact, they're pressuring the mid tower now as well. Really creative here of FIGJAM to pressure this blue, and so many people are peeling off to try and kill this Nasus. I mean, they might get a kill on Bluey 90 here as it does get knocked up by Jarvan, but that mid tower's probably going to go down as a result. Intrepid cannot hold it, and I mean, it's kind of weird to fight just for a blue buff and lose a tower, but they really need this blue buff.
Exactly. It's not just a blue buff on any conventional laner. We're talking about Anivia here. There is no champion in the game who needs that blue buff early more than Anivia, much as Froggen might want to argue and say that he doesn't really care about blue buff.
He cares about blue buff. And certainly Liquid Cheese cares about blue buff here as well.
But if he tells people that he doesn't, maybe he'll get more of them.
That's true. But certainly FIGJAM know that of Daizy Parade this game here. Trashbot actually teleports down to the bottom lane here. Just had to prevent Kog'Maw from, free pushing onto this bottom turret here. Doesn't want to get too much damage done. And of course, wants all the farm he can get because he is Karthus and he loves to farm wherever he can. You can see his tier and the Rotivator's already finished up as well. So nice timing there on those items. Blue90 ticking along. Got himself some boots now. Berserker Greaves are finished. I'm kind of surprised he needs them because he seemed to ignore them initially. But I guess he's like, yeah, a bit of attack speed, some move speed's nice. So we'll put that in there with my BT and get things going here. I guess Kog'Maw on the other side finally has a BF sword. But I'm actually going to quickly check the gold values here. Not looking great. In fact, 1,500 gold or so ahead for Twitch right now. That is basically a BF sword up.
Which is, this early in the game, a scary thing. We're going to see the Zeo coming out soon, potentially the Phantom Dancer. You just know that once he hits level 11, this Twitch is going to be doing insane spray and pay damage.
And I'm surprised that Cocaine didn't think to pick up an aggressive Oracles here. I thought, given the way they're moving through the map here, and the fact that they've got the 3 outer turrets down, that they might want to just do that. I mean, it is very early here, but I think this is the kind of time where you can afford to do something like that, even though they're not super far ahead in gold. But it looks like they're just going to roam through here, try and pressure where they can. Dragon is back up as well, and they've got a pink ward to cover off that one, so they're going to 5-man this. And there's really not a whole lot Daizy Parade can do. I mean, last game they had, Orianna Malphite initiation in these sort of spots, but I think in this time they don't really want to fight against this Twitch Karthus, especially given that there is a gold lead here. And Cocaine's going to go in. The box should come out there as well. Tidal Wave through as well there for Nami. Absolute Zero actually for Intrepid. Great Cataclysm catches them all. Beautiful Aqua Prison. Does so much there for the massive stuns. And Robbo's in the back there as well. Absolutely amazing team fight here for Daizy Parade. Blurry90 going down in there as well. That's Shazam actually getting a kill and full credit there as well. But 3-0 there in that team fight. Cocaine possibly going to go down here as well. He's going to try something here, but that's going to be Dragon coming out as well for Daizy Parade. And I guess I eat my words there, Papa Smithy. They didn't need Orianna Malphite. They just had everything they needed. That was amazing, amazing wombo combo.
And obviously we're not on camera right now, but I had a big smile on my face there, pastry time, just because I saw what Intrepid wanted to do with this Nunu pick. He flash ulted there, slowing attack speed. And Nivea also managed to get her ult on, which also slows attack speed. So by the time, after getting out of the Aqua Prison, that Twitch could attack, he was about negative 50% attack speed and about 20% health. He never was in a position to use spray and pray there. Just a lovely, lovely exchange by Daizy Parade.
And one of the nice ways to catch up on gold is, give your AD carry some assists. I mean, Kog'Maw probably would like the kills, but he's got 4 assists right now. Going to rotate down back to this bottom lane, collect the farm that's pushing in there as well. I mean, it's 3-1 in turrets here, for the record, but they got the important turret. They've got that mid turret down. They can finally move through kind of the center area of the map and try and make some more plays. And if they do anything more like that, then they're a good way off to really getting themselves back into this game. And I don't quite know what the gold lead before was, but it's now about 2,000 gold between these two teams, which has to be a nice little equalizer there for Daizy Parade.
And Kog'Maw's just happy that, he had the lane frozen in his turret, had to react to Dragon, came back to the lane to find it pretty well frozen again. So he's picking up this free farm that everything FIGJAM has done so far has been to shut down that.
Yeah, I think that fight really showcases the power of Nami as well. Shazam, I think, caught 4 people in that Aqua Prison after the tidal wave in there as well. And it was just the best follow-up ever with the absolute 0 plus Cataclysm over the top of that tidal wave as it was coming in there as well. I mean, credit to FIGJAM. We've seen them play very strong as a team a lot of the time to get things done. I mean, their game against Freyuma was really, really close, and a lot of it was to do with just how tightly they played as a team and how well they team fought. And that is the sort of thing they need to be doing if they're going to get themselves back into this game. And what a way to kick things off as well. I mean, FIGJAM, I think, sort of reeling right now because they're like, I don't really want to get pushed in here. This feels scary, even though they are still slightly ahead in gold.
And Twitch, for his range, is fairly immobile once he pops out of ambush. And that's being preyed on, as we see it engage.
Yeah, Blurry90 here going to take some damage here. Robbo going to knock him up, but despite the snowballs, Intrepid comes in for the slow. No one there really there to follow up. If Kog'Maw was around by Arcane Barrage maxed out now, probably going to do a decent amount of damage. But as it is, Nass is just happy to walk away here. And I think I like what Nepthesis is doing here. He's actually going straight for an Infinity Edge.
And that's pretty much the standard pickup on Kog'Maw, just because you can crit and do that massive single target damage with your max health magic damage steroid on the W from just such a long distance away. You don't really see a Bloodthirster Kog'Maw come out too often. It does scale well with his ultimate, but isn't usually worth it. So he's behind, so it is a slow Infinity Edge here, but his team has bought him a lot of time. They've picked up the important global objective in the Dragon, and he can go bottom and farm quite happily once again.
Yeah, back to what he goes. He's a little way off Infinity Edge.
700 gold.
Yeah, it's got about 700 there, so needs a little bit more. But I mean, the bottom wave keeps pushing. He keeps getting the farm. And Nivea now is in wave clear mode. I mean, doesn't have blue buff, but level 11, so level 2 ultimate there. Able to clear out waves very quickly, as you see there. And Nivea just decimates that wave as they come through here. And again, Cocaine going to look for the box. Does find it there as he plays in Tidal Wave. They're coming through. Intrepid looks for the Absolute Zero. He finds it. Cogmore trying to rotate his way back up. The damage from Titro absolutely massive. Intrepid picks up 1 kill there onto Thresh, but it's not quite enough there as a 3-for-1 trade comes out. Intrepid coming through. Cogmore going to try and maybe pick up something here, but Blurry90 takes a couple of pokes to the back. He's not too worried about it all. And that was a very nice, very aggressive initiation there from Cocaine. That's his team 3 kills for 1.
And it feels like we've had both ends of the spectrum pastry time. The previous fight, FIGJAM fans were just wondering what had happened. And now the Daizy Parade fans, once again, just in a blink of an eye, 3 people fall down.
Yeah, I mean, doing this Baron is a little dangerous here, but they actually finish it. Wow, Trash. Oh, no, he died. Oh, Trash Boat. Actually, Requiem's now as well. But Blue Knight Zero's like, oh, goodness, I got to get away, but gets nailed by the Cogmore ultimate. And that was not the way they wanted to do Baron. Thankfully, there's no smite, and Baron isn't that low, so they didn't actually steal it there, because it would have been kind of amusing if Nunu would just walked in and consumed it to get the kill. But again, FIGJAM with an aggressive Baron doesn't quite pan out. But thankfully for them, only 2 people died, and one of them got executed by Baron.
I think Team Dignitas shows it best. The Baron is a risky objective to try and close in on and pick up, and it has been definitely the story of this series.
Oh, they're going to try the counter Baron here. It looks like Cocaine going to throw the Oracles in there. They probably don't have the damage to do it super fast, but they're going to try it out here. They're going to clear out the wards. Looks like Teleport coming in as well. They can't clear out that ward, and that's going to be, I think, an instant move out there as Trashboat throws down the wall, Pain and Passage himself over. That was a really smart play, actually. I don't think it's necessary for him to teleport there, but just keep making sure they have vision in there saying, no, we are coming, we are there, is really smart. And then Trashboat, didn't get much done, but making a ward invulnerable for a 5-minute cooldown actually probably pays off there.
The implied threat of a Karthus in the Baron pit is massive, just because, hey, even if you 4v1 take him down, he's still dead. His grave is still active on top of your whole team and Baron. He has a potential for Baron steal. Baron, of course, as we discussed before, does increased magic damage. People who take attacks from Baron take increased magic damage. It's just such a big zoning tool of, hey, you don't want to fight this. And the Dark Passage, of course, makes it easy for him to escape.
Yeah, so Thresh throws a lantern over the wall, he gets out of there, and it's like, okay, job's done there. They're not going to clean up Baron. Cogmore down the bottom here now has Infinity Edge, going to clear out even more minions. Again, pretty happy that, kind of an ATM is coming down here of minions, just able to clear them out whenever he is. And his team's doing a good job of, as you said, buying him time to make sure that's the case here. But FIGJAM posturing very aggressively still. We've seen Cocaine's initiations and how devastating they can be. The Baron getting low in here again, but I think they're going to go in for the initiation. Liquid Cheese could be in trouble. A decent tidal wave there. Intrepid caught out as well, going to get knocked away, and he needs to find a spot to Absolute Zero if he can. But a great wall there from Anivia. The Absolute Zero tunneled in there as well. A great Cataclysm to cut him off, and that's a kill there for Cogmore as he comes through. Riola now forced to run out of there as well. Cocaine low. Trash boated low as well. They're going to try and do some AoE. Karthus pretty low, maybe could get sniped by Cogmore here, and the Requiem is probably not going to make the difference. In fact, he doesn't even have it. A great Aqua Prison there from Shazam, and Liquid Cheese is going to clean up that kill. And once again, a fantastic team fight there. 3 for 0 for Daizy Parade, really pulling it out here with the teamwork, and now they're going to go for Baron.
See, I thought Teemo was the global tournament pastry time, but it must be Baron.
Apparently, both teams are very aggressively going for this. This is a 23-minute Baron. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd Baron attempt we've seen here as well. They've got Nunu, they've got Smite, they can probably get this. Blue Knight Zero, he maybe even wanted to think about going in there, but I guess without his ultimate, it's a little too dangerous, but they get very low there, but do manage to clean up that Baron. And look at the gold, Papa Smithy. 200 between these two teams, and that's 2 amazingly executed team fights there for Daizy Parade.
And look, I commend FIGJAM for what they're doing. They've been trying to force fights whenever they see Cogmore farming down bottom, just because the resources to try and gank him at his inner bot turret is not really realistic, so they want to draw him to a 5v4 fight they're ahead of. It hasn't worked out for them, but I commend their endeavor. But now Cogmore, he's got the zeal, he's looking healthy, he's ahead of items on his compatriot Blue 90 here. Damage is coming out for Daizy Parade right now.
Yeah, actually pings on the Dragon. That's some nice awareness coming out. Cocaine and Blue 90 actually 2-manning it, which is not going to work out for them. They spot it up. It's like, oh, it's at half health. We should probably clean this up, and they're just going to walk in and steal this one, it looks like. And there we are. Apart from a smite there from Nasus, which probably would have got him killed, no real reason to get that Dragon. And now in the driver's seat in terms of gold, 200 up now for Daizy Parade. So very little in this game still, but Baron buff means so much more than just the gold. That's the stats it gives you are absolutely amazing. And finally, we're going to see some turrets go down here to equalize for Daizy Parade.
Yeah, they were way behind on the turret gold. It was 3 to 0, 2 to 3 now. and they're going to keep pushing on onto the inner turret here.
And why not? I mean, Cogmore is a pretty good siege champion. When you got Bioarcane Barrage on, you can do damage from very, very far away with that big 700 plus range coming out there. So he's going to come in there, do some damage to this turret. Nami in there as well to disengage him. And they've got a great comp for sieging in here as well. There's so much AoE CC you have to walk through between Absolute Zero, Tidal Wave, even Anivia's Glacial Storm, and the Cataclysm that can cut you off as well. I mean, this is a great comp for Cogmore, both aggressively and defensively, and we've seen it from Daizy Parade. They managed to make it work aggressively, and here in a siege, especially with the Baron buff, it's so hard for FIGJAM to do much here. And Riolo, in fact, going to get popped down. In fact, very low there, gets picked up by Liquid Cheese. Cocaine going to come through in there, and the fifth can take a lot of damage in there as well. Shazam comes in, Trash Boat in there as well. They're going to try and kite him away. The Requiem going to come out here. I think Liquid Cheese might die, but he could have Rebirth up, and he does. But Cogmore dies to that one as well. The rest of them going to chase through, and Liquid Cheese probably going to die. In fact, Blue Knight Zero may go down here. Catherine Surprise comes out for the damage. There's the pickup of Liquid Cheese, so he does get the trade kill before going down the wall. Not quite enough there, unfortunately, as the shutdown comes out there from Nasus, but Rubub is able to get out of the way there. A 4-for-3 trade there overall in kills for the last fight, but 2 towers. They really wanted to evens it up, and they're very happy with that, despite losing most of their Baron buff.
Absolutely, losing a kill trade by 1, but taking out 2 turrets and getting a lot of damage on the inhibitor turret. A big win for Daizy Parade.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice move there from FIGJAM to go in before anything too bad happened. I mean, they had to give up the outer turret basically because it was so low. And the tier 2, I think they correctly identified as, yeah, we can probably give this up too. But going in on that inhibitor turret when they needed to made the difference there. And it's still below 50% health as the minions get the work done there. Taking out the 4th turret now, giving them a lead in turrets here. And of course, the gold lead still there as well by 1,000 gold, Papa Smith. I mean, Baron buff still here on Jarvan, so he's going to be happy with those stats. But I mean, still very close here between these two teams. And, you know, I'm ready to see a good team fight here from FIGJAM as well, because Karthus has been doing well. He's almost got his Rabadons back up as well. Twitch now with the last Whisper on top of his Zeal plus BT. I mean, everybody still has got quite a lot of gold, and they're building up towards those big items. So certainly not even close to being out of this yet, FIGJAM.
Absolutely, and just because the momentum's with Daizy Parade, FIGJAM have 2 hyper carries arguably in Twitch and Karthus. Jace has gone for a very aggressive poke-based build here. He's working on his Last Whisper next to just make sure that Bloodthirst Acceleration Gate Shock Blast really stick. They have plenty of damage. They have a Bulwark. There's no way to pick a winner in a 5v5 fight as things stand right now.
Yeah, they're going to try and steal away this blue buff though, and Nivea not going to be here to get it, unfortunately, but someone will get it. And looks like Rubub's going to collect that one. The Good Cheese is going to return now as well. Has his Rabadons up as well. So Rotovator's probably fully charged at this point, and they're blasting one in there as well. They're going to push out this wave and probably juke back towards mid. And of course, all 5 members of FIGJAM must go towards that bottom lane, trying to defend that inhibitor push. Oracle's on Shazam here as well. He's going to clear out the wards if he walks past him. There's the one at Wolves, and there's one that Liquid Cheese just walked past as well. So going to just try and clear out a few more turrets here. We've got all the tier 3s, they've got a tier 2 in there as well, and their 5th is actually going to get initiated. A great tidal wave there, but the box can't quite happen yet. Absolute Zero as well, they've got to protect him off. Rubub cuts off everyone in there as well, and there's Cogmore getting the first kill. It's on Thresh, but you know, it does matter here. Still a 4v5 if they want to keep fighting, but they do disengage. You don't want to go too far here, waiting for the Karthus zombie to wear off, waiting for the Nasus ult to wear off, and Blue Knight Zero going to come in here. Liquid Cheese going to be in trouble, forced to flash out there as the Venom cast comes through, and the flash misses there as Blue Knight Zero flashes under it, and the rest of the team are going to go towards this inhibitor. So they're going to give up their Anivia, they're going to go for this inhibitor turret here, probably going to get it. They want the inhibitor as well, and even in this spot, they can still force a good 4v3, and there's nowhere to run right now. In fact, they're going to go around the back here. Blue Knight Zero going to ambush away. The flash forward there from Intrepid. They desperately wanted Riolu, but I think maybe they should have been a little bit more patient. I mean, all they have to do is force the team fight, but I guess Cocaine's back up. 10 seconds here till Trash Mode as well, and Shazam's just going to walk away here. So nice play there getting the inhibitor turret. Probably worth the Anivia that died, but they really wanted that inhibitor as well. I think that was a very aggressive but very decisive move there from Daizy Parade.
Basically, that death sentence by Cocaine there onto Cogmore was a game-winning death sentence. He just wasn't aware that the box was on a cooldown 4 or 5 seconds. You just know that he double-queued there, intending to drop the box, and that would have been a completely different team fight. So, lovely mechanics. Good job hitting that death sentence, but the cooldowns, if they fell just slightly the other way, I mean, Requiem was about 15 seconds away, the box was a couple of seconds away. In any other situation, that was a superstar play from Cocaine.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately that wasn't the case. You're right, that would have been a big difference. I was wondering where the box was, and turns out, of course, Papa Smithy is always paying close attention. Realised that it was unfortunately on cooldown there, and a couple of his ultimates crucially not up there. And man, some short cooldown ultimates over on the Daizy Parade side, I'll tell you that much. Intrepid's ult's already back up. Of course, Cogmore's is very short. Tidal Wave back up as well, it looks like, and I guess they've got, 3 short cooldown ultimates and 3s with 2 with pretty insignificant cooldowns, so no surprise to see they've got them most of the time.
They're just positioning around the map. They do have the Oracles on Shazam here, so trying to get as many aggressive walls down as possible.
I just noticed by the Intrepid, he does have some CDR, so it explains why his ult, even at rank 2, is on a pretty short cooldown.
It was actually buffed during the Nuna changes. I think it's down to 80 to 60 seconds with levels, so it's pretty low to begin with, but you're right, with the cooldown reduction, it's almost insignificant.
I just realized he has double chalice also.
And they don't stack.
Correct. Interesting. I guess we'll have to talk to him about that after the game if they win. But here comes Nasus. Good wall there from Liquid Cheese. Bit of damage going to come out there. Blue 90 getting poked reasonably efficiently there. And that's a Nasus ult gone now. He's nowhere near as tanky if he comes in again. And of course, all the ults available here. In fact, Blue 90 could be in trouble here. Intrepid thinking about it. Tidal Wave comes through. They kind of have to go in here as well. But there's a flash out from Trash Boat. They're just going to try and aggressively force damage onto this inhibitor. Shredder's Reverie gets popped in there as well. Shazam over the top. Gets hooked in there as well. But there's the Nasus going down. Cogmos damage. Absolutely massive there still. And now 5v4. Without the Nasus, I don't know if they can defend off this inhibitor. Looks like it is going to drop here. And Daizy Parade one step closer here to taking this game. But still very, very tense between these two teams.
Yeah, they definitely... That was obviously the big objective they wanted to take down. I mean, it looked like a great initiation from Nasus there, but that wall was so super on point from Liquid Cheese. I don't think anyone can question that he's one of the best Anivia players in the Oceanic region.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's not only shown that he mechanically knows, that was ridiculously fast on that wall there as well. And of course, that Nasus, man, he kind of used his ult, looking to go in and just didn't go anywhere, unfortunately, and then just took a little bit too much poke from Kokomo, who does plenty of damage to tanky targets, especially with Nasus. I mean, he's got a bulwark, he certainly has some magic resist, but wasn't enough there. The Baron here, two members down here, but Trashbot's teleport is up. They've got to be careful. I think they want to peel here. A good wall there. Riolu forced to flash out as well. And next Cocaine, great Aqua Prison in there as well. And Trevor wants to go in, activates his absolute zero. Trashbot in the back as well, gets picked off. That's a beautiful spot of positioning. They just have to make sure they back carefully. Cocaine, they're getting a little too low. Rub cuts them off there with the Cataclysm, but Requiem damage so massive there as Riolu picks him off. And that was a really, really nice coordination overall. They might even be able to steal this Baron as well. But a 4-for-2 trade there with one member dead. Oh, sorry, two members coming through there. Trashbot's teleport, absolutely massive there in that spot.
And super crucial that Blue 90 was never able to be damaged there. He was at full health the whole fight. Free hit. And the answering Baron comes out, and I'm ready for another swing in this game, Pastry Time.
I guess so. I mean, Liquid Cheese, I guess if he knew this was happening, he might stay around. He probably could have poked them off. It even has Rebirth, just in case for an extra life. But it's too late there. 3 members of FIGJAM are going to get Baron Nashor. And once again, games get very, very tense. The gold lead swinging back now, as you noted here. 800 up now for FIGJAM, but Daizy Parade, they're still in it here. And I guess, Papa, if we're going to have a swingy game like this, we're 32 minutes in. Potentially this one could go very long here, you know, towards the hour mark. If you have to call the comp late game, who are you going to give the advantage to here?
The thing I'll focus on first there, Pastry Time, is that you don't need a deep analysis to know that picking up the Baron is a great thing for FIGJAM, right? But the one thing you can look out here is that the inhibitor that FIGJAM had down was their bottom inhibitor. That inhibitor, having that down, gives you the least amount of Baron control possible, because you need to react to super minions pushing on your base at the bottom. That is the polar opposite of Baron. Baron is geographically opposite to that area. So the fact that they were able to get that Baron is a massive, massive win for them, because in any other terms, there should be no way they'd be able to claim a Baron there.
Yeah, we've seen both these teams actually all throughout the series having Baron greed get a little too much for them there. In fact, earlier in this game, FIGJAM lost their first Baron, getting too aggressive there on that one. I think the same can definitely be said there for Daizy Parade as well. Looks like Blue 90 here actually very much in trouble here. Cogmon going to reveal him off. The Aqua Prison going to miss there as he flashes out of the way, but the damage still going to come through. They maybe want to dive here, but Nasus pretty tanky. Don't want to overcommit, and they wisely back off there. But I mean, that's probably his ultimate goal. No, he actually still has it, and now they're going to chase through in here as well. Nasus, I guess, with the Baron regen as well, able to regen up pretty quickly here, and a good wall there almost catches them off, but they're going to have to rotate up here and see what they can find. And both teams very aggressively posturing here in the jungle. It won't take much here. Cocaine almost finds the hook. Blue 90 with her in there as well. Aqua Prison comes through. I mean, it's definitely a battle of the worlds right now. Both supports with the Oracles, but they really don't want to walk into the wrong spot and get initiated on. And both teams desperately need vision here in this very tight corner.
As Liquid Cheese takes a disgusting amount of damage from the Shock Blast there.
Yeah, I mean, different from Riola's build last time. He had Blade of the Ruined King. Now he's got all the tools. He's got Last Wish for BT, and he's got the Mana Mune, which will be Muramana soon enough here as the T2 turret goes down. So, nice bit of movement there. Liquid Cheese, again, very, very low on this Anivia. I mean, he does have blue buff, so he's not going to be short on mana, but a little short on health right now. Although he does have Rebirth in a pinch if he needs it, but he'd definitely much rather be alive for as long as possible and not have to use that passive if he can help it.
And you have to say, as the game stands now, the next fight will be at FIGJAM's inhibitor when it respawns, because that'll be around the time that Baron starts to wear off, and a 5v fight will break out.
You have to think so here. And I mean, both teams definitely tooling up here. Lots and lots of damage everywhere here. Kog'Maw, I think, just picked up his Blade of the Ruined King. No, not quite. Can't finish it yet, but does have his Blue Water Cutlass, which he does need for lifesteal. So good that he has that in there as well. And, you know, the on-hit
But
damage.
no Last Whisper, though, Pastry Time, compared to the Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and a BF sword. I mean, I don't know how this happened, but it feels like Twitch just exploded in terms of damage.
Well, it's interesting. In fact, they both have very similar amounts of gold. Let's take a quick look there. But, yeah, Twitch just has more damage items. I mean, the second Dorans, they're hurting a little bit, I think, for Kog'Maw that you kind of needed for his early game. And looks like you are right, by the way. They are pushing down towards the bottom lane, trying to potentially snipe off this inhibitor here. But, I mean, Kog'Maw, he needs a bit of lifesteal. Blade of the Ruined King does work nicely with Bioarcane Barrage, but you're right in that he definitely is doing a lot of attack damage for the most part and will need that Last Whisper. And Twitch right now is just all items all the time here. I mean, Blue 9-0, I don't even know. He's only 20 CS ahead, and I checked the gold. He was maybe 500 gold up, but...
What difference 500 gold makes, apparently.
Apparently, Cocaine trapped in there. The box in there. It's a great wall there from Liquid Cheese. And caught warding there in the wrong part of his own jungle. Almost should have known, I guess, given that, you know, that inhibitor's coming back up. But
what an awkward time for the inhibitor to respawn if you're a FIGJAM fan.
yeah, I mean, I guess he was trying to ward it so that didn't happen if they were going to come through here. Because, as you said, they did know that this was likely what they wanted to go after here. The poke going to come out from Jace. Lots and lots of damage there from Riolu. But looks like they are going to get this inhibitor for a second time.
Yeah, there's no point to contest here. You might get a bit trigger happy if you're a FIGJAM player, but they have no chance. And it's just another stall tactic, I guess you could say here. Unfortunately for them, having that down will be a thorn on their side for them until it respawns.
Yeah, 5 minutes for that one to come back up. So that's going to give a lot of control here to Daizy Parade. As the trap actually has a Philosopher's Stone now. Apparently he just really wants mana regen. I guess it kind of makes sense on Nunu, but I think he's realizing maybe he needed to be a little more tanky. Or just want a gold earlier here. Blue 9 getting a Dover on Blue 9-0 in there as well. The Tidal Wave knocks him up, and the damage is coming through Shazam. Not quite in range yet for the Oracles, and the Spray and Pray coming through as well. The heal being used there by Shazam as well, just to kind of shake off a bit of the AoE, and that's a great move from Liquid Cheese. He tries to go in there, but Blue 9-0 picks up the kill there onto Nami. Intrepid there with the ultimate as well. Trash Boat getting low there as Kog'Maw's already been exploded there. The Requiem coming through as well. The double kill for Twitch. The egg there coming out as well. And that's going to be an ace actually coming out there as well. Great play there from everyone off on the Daizy Parade side. And with 3 members left, they might be able to push down a little bit more.
You got to say the damage from Twitch there was just unbelievable. And the difference in items is just almost unfathomable how you could have that range of items and with the gold values as they are, be so far ahead. I mean, now he's 2,100 ahead, but before that fight, as you pointed out, only a 500 difference, but the efficiency of the items bought by Twitch, clearly superior, I think.
And the 2,000 gold he actually has now.
Yes.
So he may have just gotten it in that fight with all those kills, or kind of recently. So he's, you know, a big bank, of course, going to be able to spend that difference. But you're right, in that fight, in terms of gold, Kog'Maw was maybe 1,000 gold behind instead of 2. And, you know, that is important here. He still hasn't quite finished up his Blade of the Ruined King, holding onto these 2 Dorans, it seems like, just because he wants to be a little not so squishy there with a bit of extra health. But, I mean, Kog'Maw, he needs to finish something here. I mean, he needs Last Whisper, and he kind of wants to finish his Blade of the Ruined King at some point as well. I mean, once he gets there, he's going to be doing plenty of damage. But right now, I mean, PDIE was good at the time when he had it, but it's definitely lacking now. And I agree, Blue 9-0 has just somehow gotten crazy, crazy amounts of gold.
Well, he's just disgustingly strong now. He has all his damage, and I guess they need the hero. You know, we thought they were way in the ascendancy. Then we saw the brilliance of the double attack speed slow, you know, Nunu flashing and getting the absolute 0 off. They need a recreation of that. Otherwise, they will not be able to handle this Twitch damage.
No, I mean, they can debuff the Twitch if they can get to him, but that is the trick, isn't it? Looks like all their cooldowns almost all up here. Kog'Maw has just no summoners, unfortunately. But the ults are back up. Most people have their flash, it seems like. At least Nunu has his, and I think, no, Jarvan does not have his, so can't get in there for the flash. Certainly the Baron is back on the way. It should be up in about a minute if it isn't up sooner than that. And looks like both teams definitely need control here. I mean, we've had 2 Barons already. We've split them one apiece. The 3rd Baron may be what determines this game here, but still very much balanced on a knife edge. And look at the gold lead now swapping around as well. This gold is somewhere up Papa Smith. I think we have to find it because that's, what, 6-7k ahead for FIGJAM?
Yeah, it's just crazy Pastry Time. And we see why there was the second Chalice. It looked like just 2 mana regen items on Nunu Pastry Time, but he's gone for what he must think is the core item here, which of course is the Mikhail's Crucible.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed he was building a Mikhail's, and there it is. He does have one. I mean, if you're going to protect your Kog'Maw, that's a pretty good way to go about it. And, I mean, it's better than nothing at this point. I mean, Intrepid kind of like, yeah, I need the regen, but I'm going to be reasonably tanky. You're probably not going to be focusing me anyway, as long as I get in a good spot for my ult. And, of course, if I can protect the Kog'Maw and get him out of it, a crucial CC, and that's going to be great. The gold, by the way, seems to be on Jace. He's about 3,000 gold ahead of Nunu or so, and Twitch with the 2,000 there as well. It doesn't quite make up the massive difference here in this game, but that's a big, big lead here, it seems.
Speaking of big, there were double stacks of wards from both supports along with the Sightstones. Now, of course, some of them placed for Cocaine, so he doesn't have that cute double stack on the map, but this map is going to be crazily, crazily overwarded.
Shirelli is activated there as well. They're trying to chase Blue 90. He's a little bit out of position. Blue 90 is stealthing in there as well. If they can get a good initiation, I mean, they don't want to blow it all on Nasus unless they can guarantee the kill before anyone else shows up. Trashboat split pushing again with his teleport as well. And for once, Intrepid does not have a teleport. He's got Ignite this time on Nunu. So the split pushing is all in the power of this man here, the Trashboat, who has really just gotten so much damage as well.
Whereas again, Kog'Maw finally finishing his Blade of the Ruin King. If this game stays even until he gets to Last Whisper, I think Kog'Maw will outscale the damage of Twitch, even though Twitch, of course, known for his ability to hypercarry as well. But if they can finish it before then, they still have that 2,300 gold window where Twitch should be superior.
And I think even then, just Karthus is going to be doing plenty of damage as well. So, I mean, if we go late game here, I think it's definitely going to be about the team fight and about which team positions correctly. And they both have good tools. So clearly, Jace's damage is also bad as well. And that poke he's putting out at this point, I mean, Riolu, he's really showcasing why people just ban Jace, because he's so irritating to deal with, and he does ridiculous damage late game as well. I mean, not as much as Cog, not as much as Twitch, but Daizy Parade kind of need the perfect fight here, and at least FIGJAM have the option of poking in. Looks like they're going to go in. The Wall of Pain beautifully put down there. Cocaine in the middle there as well. The Tidal Wave comes off as well. There's Trashboat in the middle of it all. The Cataclysm goes down, but the damage absolutely massive here for FIGJAM. They clean out everybody they need to, losing only Cocaine. Karthus dead now as well, but does use the Requiem to back them off, and crucially, Blue 90 has more health here, and they're going to be able to push out this turret. I mean, they can probably defend here with Anivia, and Kog'Maw's likely going to go back, probably home guard his way back into this one as well if he can afford it, but the Baron, I think, is back up. Look at these minion waves as well, just pushing. Purple waves up top, purple waves down the mid. And, I mean, they could maybe just walk over and 2-3-man Baron if they wanted to. I think with Nasus, Jace, Twitch, they probably could, actually.
Two-fed hyper carries just does grimace-worthy damage basically time. Just so strong, both of them. The Last Whisper, definitely the thing that's letting Kog'Maw down, but just so, like, people just blew up that fight.
They really did.
And these are tanky people, basically. Time.
Yeah, they really are, but there's plenty of Twitch AoE, and all they have to do is get Trashboat in the mix, and it's awkward because there's pretty good AoE on the Daizy Parade side, but Jarvan has to be really careful where he sets it up. And I think the Wall of Pain really set up a lot of that there. I mean, they've got Tidal Wave, they've got Cataclysm on the Daizy Parade side, but Wall of Pain and the Trashboat just flashed in there and tried to do as much damage as he could. And damage he did there with Jason Twitch. Not to mention, of course, Cocaine getting in with the box there as well. So both teams with pretty scary looking initiation. I mean, if either team gets a good team fight off, the damage from either side is going to come in and be absolutely massive. We see Void Star for Anivia now. Liquid Cheese is 660 AP as the middle inhibitor respawns. I mean, the problem here is they've got to try and fend off this Baron, and thank goodness that inhibitor came back because they're going to be able to clean out the last few waves of super creeps and probably get some control over the map here. But getting to the point where one lost team fight's probably the end of the game here. I mean, it's almost amazing that the last one didn't do too much damage to the Daizy Parade base.
And Kog'Maw's realized that pastry time, even though he knows he desperately needs the Last Whisper. Giant Spell is the pickup. We see Giant Spell on both AD carries here. There isn't going to be 2 or 3 fights left. The next fight is the big one.
Wall of Pain coming out there as well. Ebb and Flow there for Shazam. Going to heal up Intrepid. It's very tense here. Both teams just hanging out in mid lane. I mean, one hook from Thresh. One Wither there out of position, enough poke there from Jace, a good wall from Anivia, a great absolute zero Cataclysm there. There's so much that can go wrong for either team here. And I mean, at this point, the gold value clearly in favor here, 10k plus for FIGJAM, but balance on a knife edge. Liquid Cheese going to get grabbed up, but nothing much they can do here. In fact, maybe they just want to go in now. But a little bit too dangerous. And I think one of the things, there's no oracles for Twitch, by the way. No pink wards in sight, unfortunately. So Blue 90 is almost always going to be in the right spot here as well. And, you know, if Jarvan could afford it, he'd love to have an oracles here. But, I mean, there's no oracles at all. The waves are pushing in down the bottom and top as well. And now Baron buff. And these are the kind of things that in League of Legends, you hate to be in the position if you're a Daizy Parade here. I mean, they're going to come in here. Cocaine's going to look for Intrepid. He finds him. They're going to hook him up. The Wall of Pain coming through as well. Just trying to poke here back and forth. But all FIGJAM need to do is buy time here. I mean, whether they get Baron or not, as long as they deny it, here's Liquid Cheese going to make a play. Blue 90 going to get caught. He activates his ultimate. Rubber going to come in there as well. Force to flash, and the Tidal Wave comes in there from Nami. And that's going to actually whiff everybody as they flash out of the way. Some key cooldowns used there. And again, they needed to kill somebody decisively here. The blue buff now getting considered as well. Liquid Cheese would love to pick it up if he can. But FIGJAM, sorry, even hooking up the blue buff, going to try and take it out. They do pick it up, as I think Riolu did pick it up there. So that's going to definitely annoy Nivea. And of course be good times for Jace as well. And really still Daizy Parade, the waves seem to have subsided a little bit there in terms of push, but they've got to be careful here, and they can't afford to waste too much time. And, you know, if Jace pokes them out, And if they walk too far away from Baron, especially if their base starts pushing in again, then this is going to be a very tricky game here. So still very, very tense despite the 10k difference.
It's just a breathless game to watch base time because even though there's the 10k gold on the FIGJAM side, one wrong mistake, counter Baron, an inhibitor goes down, the game can end. There's just so much potential for this game to swing on the next fight that whenever someone gets caught by a death sentence or a really impressive Anivia wall comes down, the game almost flashes in front of your eyes.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to buy some time now. Looks like the rest of FIGJAM actually backed off, so there's time now for Daizy to clear out some of these waves, thin them out a little, try and prevent that push and get it going in the other direction up towards the red base. But, I mean, they've got to be so careful. There's a ridiculous amount of wards in the Baron pit. You can see it's like Christmas time there around that area, just the blue buff and the Baron. There's so many wards. Most of them are red at this point, but FIGJAM does have another Oracle's here ready to clear some of the wards out. I'm sure Cocaine's is still going as well. Yes, he does. In fact, almost run out, which is a little awkward. Oh no, never mind, it's fresh. My mistake. So both the boards ready to go here for ward clearing duty.
And I guess the one thing that you could say for Daizy Parade here is that they don't have those minion waves at top and bot pushing out. They've pushed out mid as well, so it can just be a full-on Baron fight that we've seen so many times this series.
Yeah, there's a backup Oracle as well on Nasus, by the way, which I think is a nice choice here. It's something that I think Jarvan really wishes he could get, but Rubber probably doesn't have the gold this game. He's got a lot of assists, but not too many kills. And actually, Nasus is pretty significantly out farming him, actually, just cleaning out the jungle wherever he can. Sure, there's Revi here that could catch Cocaine. That could be bad news, but they have to be careful here. Rubber, good wall, actually trying to catch him up, but the flash is in there as well. Cocaine's going to go through. Grey Box coming in there. Here comes Trashbot as well, but Nephthys is on the right side. He's going to kite up this Karthus and do the damage where he can, but the rest of them are coming in here. Blue 9-0 is still doing damage. Wreck him, going to absolutely wreck the team in there as well as the AoE comes through thick and fast. A good stun there from Liquid Cheese, but I think it's going to turn on to Baron here, and it's going to be very tricky for them to get off this Baron.
No, it looks like Baron definitely going down for FIGJAM here. They keep trying valiantly, the Daizy Parade side, but they're just getting absolutely wrecked by this Twitch.
I mean, everybody always has their flash when they get a pick in there as well, which must be frustrating. And the Twitch there, I mean, he's just so scary. If they can't get to him, that's the problem. They can keep Kog'Maw alive, but Karthus is flashing in, even Thresh is coming in, and Nasus in there as well. They can't kill the front line fast enough. If they get too close to this Twitch, remember, has the longest range of any AD carry by more than 100, I might add, when Spray and Pray is activated. I mean, Blue 9-0 just feels so safe, and look at this last item. He's got a frozen mallet.
And when it comes to the supports here, I think that's kind of been the big discrepancy in fights here. Even though both the Box and Tidal Wave have similar mechanics, they're both very severe slows, the aggressive boxes have just been getting so much more purchase for FIGJAM than the defensive Tidal Waves have for Daizy Parade.
And that's the thing, I mean, on the FIGJAM side, they don't really have a good initiation. I mean, in fact, Thresh is probably their best initiation, which says a lot about how the team's going. And thankfully, he's been landing the boxes, apart from, the one hook where he accidentally didn't realize he didn't have the box and it was on cooldown.
You can't blame him for trying that one. That was a hook on the AD carry. It was beautiful stuff. But again, just one of those, just a product of, hey, I actually don't have the box cooldown.
And this is desperation mode almost for FIGJAM. They are camping the bottom lane, hoping somebody walks through. They're going to see Trash right here. Liquid Cheese is going to have to be careful. Oh, he spots him.
Very intelligent wall of pain there. That's not necessarily a brush you'd expect to have to check at the 47-minute mark.
They're going to wall in there. They're going to come in there as well. Twitch down on the way in. I think they realize that camp's probably not going to get it done here. Massive minion wave pushing mid in there as well. Going to be forced to back off here. The Dragon is going to go over to FIGJAM. Going to pick up a bit of extra gold there. I mean, the gold at this point pretty much irrelevant between these two teams. I mean, these inventories are full for everyone except for Nami there. I guess both supports have little ward slots left over, which is nice. There's double Rod of Ages on Anivia, by the way.
And it just feels like there's a freeze on Kog'Maw's account space through time. Still no Last Whisper.
Yeah, I guess that's the one thing he's really missing is he has 6 items, but one of them is a Doran's Blade, which at this point of the game, as we approach 50 minutes, is not really what he wants here. Compared to Twitch, who's actually completely stacked here with 6 items. He could sell his boots if he wants to, but he's pretty much good for now on damage, and he's got all damage items as well. The frozen mallet, a nice bit of slow, good bit of health in there as well, but that Blue 9-0 is all about the damage here.
Now they have Anivia, so they have great wave clear. Kog'Maw, of course, can help there. Nunu has the emergency ultimate just in case they need to instantly clear a wave. So this should be a long, drawn-out siege here, but of course the minions pushing mid will certainly help the FIGJAM case.
Yeah, and all FIGJAM have to do is just be kind of patient here. I mean, Daizy Parade know what they need to do. They've got the tools they need. Anivia does not have blue buff, unfortunately, but has a pretty massive mana pool, which will definitely help out.
So how long is there? I don't know if the spec mode shows. Yes, it does. So just 2 minutes on the second one. If this game goes another 8 minutes, it might be a smart purchase.
Yeah, I mean, I think Liquid is just like, this is going so late. I just really want another Rod of Ages here. I mean, And if you definitely likes it, Rod of Ages.
Synergizes with the Seraph's Embrace as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually, how much bonus AP is there? Is that right? 101, I think. Yeah.
And of course, the 20% shield, what's that going to be shooting for at the moment? It's going to be shooting for a massive amount, almost 800 health, I guess, at this point.
That's a lot of health. Especially because Anivia has, I think, is that 3,700 or 2,700? I can't read. It must be 2,700, 2,750 or so. So, you know, not quite 3,000 health, but going to be more or less 3,500 with the Seraph's Embrace shield. Not to mention the rebirth as well. So, health actually pretty good on Anivia.
Health is the order of the day. I mean, we've got Frozen Mallet, Giant's Belt, Jace. We've got the Nasus with an extra Giant's Belt. There's tankiness everywhere. Although, yes, the Frozen Mallet completed. And now, selling of the boots, we've got the 6th item coming in for Twitch here.
It's a Zephyr.
So he's not going to be fast, but to be honest, I think he expects to get his work done during his ultimate.
It's not super slow. 380 move speed right now. Cog's at 434 with a Phantom Dancer. In all fairness, I don't think Twitch has one, actually. No, I'm incorrect. He does have one. So I guess he is pretty slow. But I mean, 20% move speed with Ambush isn't the worst thing ever. And I think really, as long as he's behind everybody else and he's able to fight, he kind of expects to be immovable here at this point. He just really needs to open up at the right spot. And given the way they've been playing, the team fights have been going. I mean, Blue 90 has never really needed to reposition. His team's always let him be in the right spot. And that's exactly what you want to do when you have a Twitch on your team.
So the 30-minute pause pastry time. Let's just sit back and have a look at the items here and work out where we're at. Because, I mean, we're 50 minutes in. A big gold lead. I mean, 15k gold. You can't ignore that. But the builds aren't complete. Actually, as I say that, Cogmore finally, pastry time has that last whisper.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It did feel like it because it felt like he was snowballing early. He picked up the important kills, and then suddenly his build was almost at a standstill.
Yeah, and now finally has that extra penetration item he needs. I mean, that Giant Spell in there as well. He could also go Frozen Mallet. It's pretty good on Cogmore, especially if you're trying to kite. Again, you don't really have that much in the way of CC or mobility, so being able to slow people is pretty nice.
Can we see the gold values while we pause?
Absolutely can. There you go. There's a lot of gold.
The Jace gold difference is massive.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences there. Riola's just had massive time to farm. He's 150 CS almost above the Nunu there. And, I mean, kind of if you expect it, right? Nunu's not the best farmer. And, of course, Jace is an absolutely massive power farmer in there as well. So, that one's working out nicely. This, yeah,
so
5,000 gold between them also.
It's Jace and Twitch where all the gold seems to be. I mean, Thresh also. But, to be honest, I believe if you go tab back to items, Nami's actually way ahead of Thresh in terms of items.
I mean, they've mostly just got wards. There's Shirelia's there for Nami, which has actually been pretty nice.
I mean, Shirelia's in a Kindle Jam. If you look at that gold difference, you know where that gold's all gone. Of course, that's all gone into wards. So you just know that the vision advantage has been consistently there for FIGJAM.
Yeah, I'm actually going to check how much gold they've earned. 992, 1,400 gold. That Philosopher's Stone. It's almost enough to buy a Shirelia.
It's the double, baby. He's doubled up in money. Only cost 700.
That's insane. That is economics right there. Cocaine economy. I mean, I guess.
The cocaine economy.
Must be running a good business. Because he's rich. He is absolutely rich here. And looks like they're going to try and push down the bottom lane here.
I feel like hashtag cocaine economy should be what comes out of this game.
I like it. Get on it, guys. So here we come. They're down the bottom. Minions pushing in. I mean, they've got Anivia. Again, the goal difference is there, but there's still damage here for Daizy Parade. There's still hope, but it's getting trickier and trickier here for FIGJAM. And, you know, I don't know if I'm... Oh, my goodness, the Cogmore damage on the trash boat. Almost annihilates that card in one fell swoop. That is why he's scary now.
And if Cogmore gets some free hits in, and Anivia wave clears, just like her kit suggests, who's to say we won't see the... Oh no, the double Rod of Age is no longer in effect pastry time, I noticed.
She has the Leandrews. I think that's actually really smart. Burning down the very high health minions now, and of course, you know, as the tanks come through, they're probably going to have to walk through Glacial.
Well, everyone's sacking Giant's Belt items, so yes, I agree. Leandrews is a very smart pickup.
I mean, I think the survivability was not something that Anivia really needed overall. Really, it was just like, I actually need to do a little bit more damage here in this game, and 725 AP is probably enough. Along with a pretty big ton of other stats in there as well. I mean, it was going to take ages to chart as well. I just think Leandrews makes a lot of sense here, and that's some good hindsight, good foresight there from Liquid Cheese to kind of realize that actually, you know, this is probably not going to work out. I got plenty of gold, you know, because I'm full, much like everybody else in this game, and it's been a while since you've seen a full 6-item game. Cogmore is, I guess, one away from really being there, and I guess Jarvan and Nunu actually need a little bit more gold as well. They've got some decent defensive items, but they're pretty squishy at this point to those hyper carries, and you compare it to Nasus, who's almost full apart from his one last giant spelled item. It's a little different here, and curious to not see Randuin's at all from either team, but I imagine it's coming for at least the Daizy Parade side.
So I looked down this Daizy Parade lineup, I look at the time into the game and how long we've been going. It does feel like Season 2 Evil Geniuses, doesn't it?
It does, and that's always a thing to say about a game, isn't it? You know, you're getting towards the hour mark. We're at 52, almost 53 minutes now. There's a Nivea on the enemy team. I mean,
Kog'Maw and Nivea, I mean, that was a core tenet of EG's strategies.
they are good friends.
It's
from
repping it
Season
strong
2.
right
Oh my
here.
goodness, there are so many words that Trevor's walking through. By the way, I think one of the forward-facing members of
The death sentence was about 100 units away from Nivea. That could have been the end of the game right there.
they're coming back though. which is all
Rebirth
good
is
times.
available.
That's true. It is. Just buy a GA just to troll. No, don't buy a GA. I like the engine.
She needs the damage.
She really does. Especially with all these people coming through. I mean, that Landry's burn was really good, actually. But I was going to say, sorry, is a death sentence coming in there? Intrepid. He's not exactly the juiciest guy, but Baron's going down there, snuck in there, so much damage coming out, and that's bad news. And FIGJAM are like, yeah, I'm going to come in here for this one. Absolute Jury gets popped. Exhauster onto Neptistus, but he's kind of in the right spot. He's got a Kite more. Intrepid down as well. Kog'Maw, the only one left there as the Ignite picks him up, and that's going to be a dead Cog. That's a quadra kill, I believe. Oh, no, not quite. The triple there for Twitch. Couldn't get the rest of them, but I think we're done, Papa Smithy. 60 seconds on anyone left. One inhibitor to go. They can probably face tank the rest of the base here, and that's going to be it. FIGJAM, no messing around here. Going to take the turrets as quickly as they can. They've got Jace, they've got Twitch, and oh, that was an interesting end to that game because that Baron really snuck in. I was like, oh yeah, they're around the Baron, and all of a sudden it's done. Enough to trick me, and I can see the entire map. Good game, well played. FIGJAM just managed to eke it out there at Daizy Parade at 2-1. And I mean, if we were going to have a last game here to cut to top 4, I guess we picked a good one.
That was just a nail-biter pastry time. And you know what's the crazy thing there? If they'd given away the free Baron, I don't think that would have given FIGJAM any real advantage because they weren't able to take down turrets. They just had the Anivia and the Kog'Maw damage. They just weren't able to push anything. So theoretically, giving away another free Baron would have just been another 5-minute stall. Instead, we finally have our 4th team through PAX Australia.
And again, a quick series to end it here as well. I mean, I agree. I think they could have actually
Quick
just left the
series?
Baron. No, I guess not.
No.
A very long series. Pretty sure
But a great
the
one
last game was
finally.
longer than all of Immunity's games.
We
in the
were
qualifier.
counting on today to have 2 great games. We got at least one great match.
We really did, didn't we? I mean, didn't get the 50-minute one on camera yesterday, unfortunately, but that was a pretty nice one edited on. I mean, you kind of expected it to be epic going down the stretch, but that was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the closest best of 3 we expected by far, and I guess they gave it to us there. That was just silliness. That was 54 minutes and 10 seconds. And I think I agree. I think Daizy Parade probably should have just let the Baron go and defended there. Because really, they got tunnel vision on Baron and just died going in trying to defend it. And at that point, you can't just rush in and get it there. And that was a stupid amount of Baron damage as well. It took, what, maybe 20 seconds to do that Baron?
It just fell so quickly. And actually, Jarvan was in a position to try and steal it. Didn't manage to pick it up. The fight broke out, and that was FIGJAM's win.
It was, and we are going to have an interview with one of the members of FIGJAM. We're not sure which yet, but we'll be back with a short winners interview after this one. We can't make it quite as epic as the games, unfortunately. But I think if you guys had a 54-minute interview, it'd probably be a little too much. So we'll be back, guys. We're going to have a quick break here. One last interview here for the top 8. And, of course, we've got our 4 teams ready for PAX before we sign off. We'll be back soon, guys. Stay tuned.